And so basically after I sold the business, I see videos online or I talk to people that have sold their business, and I think it's really, they kind of go into this rut where it's almost like the people that sell their business and the people that have failed businesses, it almost feels the same, because it's just like you have all this cash flow, you have this baby, you have this, thing that you're putting so much energy into for so many years, and then it just goes away like that. And if you don't really know what you're doing next, it could really get you into a rut, and you really, fall into a place where you really fall into like limbo. So I was really, reflecting and whatnot as to, hey, what should I do next? How can I leverage the opportunities I have? And I really just came down to, I was thinking back, and I had this whole, black swan event where, I lost, I would say, 95% of my physical possessions that some of them I bought really stupidly, just being a dumb, teenager. I learned my lesson the hard way. I sold all my clothes and then moved back from Florida. And so, it really just taught me, what are the things that actually matter most in life? I think I was just so focused on getting the approval of others, or, really just flashing my life off, or, being really materialistic. And I think I was just insecure at that point where, moving out so far away from home, I didn't really have a good support system. I didn't really have a good society or social fabric really when I'm so far away from home. And so I think it was just a really eye-opening experience, and it really taught me that the things that matter most in life are relationships and like your health or wealth and whatnot. And so I think it really just humbled me per se, and really made me look back and reflect on life and see like what really matters. Because I'll tell you a story, like I had this fancy apartment and I got this Tesla, and I spent like a bunch of money on it. I got the same desk as Marcus Brownlee, and that was another $8,000. It just, anyways, I say that because I was sitting out one time on my balcony, and I'm looking over, I see this beautiful city of Miami, and basically it was like right on the river. You have all these big yachts and whatnot, and you see the beach and whatnot. But then as soon as you look over a little to the left, there's a massive hospital, and then connected to the hospital right next door, there's a prison. It's not this flat prison, it's sort of like a really tall prison and really tall hospital. And I really just thought like, I was on like the 20th something story, and I really just thought like, what's the difference between, me and them? The prisoners or the people in the hospital. They have the same view of Miami and all this, fancy stuff and river and whatnot. The difference is I'm paying $2,500 a month and they're not. And so, really after this whole thing and, moving back, it really just taught me to reflect on my life and really, find the things that actually matter the most. And that, I think that's really just building relationships with really cool and awesome people, valuable people as well. And so that's really what I learned from this whole, Black Swan experience, and, what really matters in life. And I think I was really focusing on the wrong things at the time, and I didn't really have anyone to sort of lead me or guide me, because I was just so independent. I was so out there, and I really just went through just the whole freaking spiral. And so that brings me to okay, so you went through this whole thing, made these 4 videos and whatnot, and so what now? I was just talking about earlier, like, people all often, have a failed business, or they're going through a traumatic life event, or they sell their business. It's all really the same thing. It's you end up getting stuck in limbo, and you don't really know what's the purpose of life? Why am I here? What am I doing things for? It's like, before I was just doing all the things for, making money and showing off and whatnot. It was just really not a healthy environment. And so it really made me reflect on life, and really gave me time to think as to, if you had all the money in the world and you were going to die in a week, what would you do? And I really thought to myself, okay, if I had all the money in the world, was I was chasing at the time, and I had a week to live, what would I do? Well, I'd probably send some sort of message, right? Well, if I had a week to live, can't really write a book. That takes many months, sometimes years. What do I have experience doing in the past? Making videos, creating videos, doing, development, creating stuff. And so